All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Courageous Curiosity podcast here from the Novi Community School District. My name is Ben Mainka, and I am the superintendent here and honored to serve here. And today is another great day because we get to have another episode of our podcast. And today we're talking about our curiosity around educational athletics. And so we've got some incredible guests here today. We have an alum back from the class of 2006. We have one of our current student athletes, and we also have a parent who has a tremendous, illustrious career herself in sports as well. And so really what we're doing today is we're really unpacking why are educational athletics such an important part of our community, of our school experience. We certainly know that not all students are going to be participating in athletics, but it's certainly something that has tremendous benefits outside of just the classroom or outside of just being a part of that team. So with that being said, I'm going to let each of our guests, as customary, introduce themselves, talk a little bit about their relationship with the school district. And we're fortunate to have Brandon Carnegie. Brandon is joining us remotely today. So Brandon, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the audience today.
Hey, thank you so much for the introduction. Again, Brandon Carnegie, went to Novi High School, student athlete there, played I think all sports my freshman year, but then kind of whittled down to track and football, and then just football became a focus for me. Ended up going to Ball State, played there for a number of years, and now I am in commercial real estate, working for CBRE, which is a global commercial real estate firm.
Well, and we're honored to have you with us again, and welcome back to, at least conversing with us here at the district. We're excited to hear a little bit about your experience and not only your athletic pursuits, but also what you're doing these days. We also have one of our current student athletes, very successful field hockey player. So Sophia, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm a senior at the high school. I'm a captain of the field hockey team, and I'm committed to play field hockey at the University of Michigan.
What are the prospects? So this year, we had our fall season is wrapped up at this point, right?
We're still in playoffs.
You're still in. So is playoffs now? Is that what we're doing? Okay. What's the next game?
Monday we play Rockford.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. Well, thank you, Sophia, for being with us. And
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Chris, thank you so much for being here as a parent, coach. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thanks. I'm Chris Lawler. I had 3 children come through the school district here. My daughter played volleyball here and softball here.
Okay.
My older son played some basketball and was in robotics. And then my youngest just graduated last year. He was a 3-sport athlete, basketball, football, and baseball. And for myself, I was a 3-sport athlete as well. I played also softball at Eastern Michigan University. I was a pitcher. And in my heyday, we won the softball state championship.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
At Eastern, right? You were at Eastern playing. And then most recently, your son Thad was on our state championship baseball team, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was correct. What a ride.
Yeah, that was
fun.
Incredible. Mm-hmm. So what's he doing these days?
So he went to St. Louis University. Mm-hmm. He is going to play club baseball there.
Okay.
But he got into the direct admit studies for physical therapy.
Okay.
And so he's going to eventually be a doctor of physical therapy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, so grateful to have the 3 of you here. Obviously, all 3 of you, current as well as past former athletes, connected to our school in some way. Just to share just a little experience of my own. I was a collegiate athlete. Also, I was a decathlete. So in high school, I was a 3-sport athlete, but I went to school Believe it or not, I went to a very small school, and actually I was a track and field athlete, and I ran on a cinder track, which most people in Novi don't even know what that is. But a cinder track is essentially like little pebbles and stones, and I actually ran on that in high school. And I was a hurdler, and I was also a thrower, and so they made me into kind of a decathlete in college. But the cool part of my story was moving into college, it was difficult. I didn't come from a family that had a lot of resources, and so this created an opportunity and an outlet for me to be able to help afford to pay for school, and that was something that I just couldn't put a value on. I was a teacher going into being a teacher, and so it was something that I needed any help and boost that I could, and so that created a tremendous opportunity for me in that way. And so, Sophia, I know you're getting ready to, go to Michigan. You're getting ready to play at the next level, which is, just a tremendous thing. And for Brandon and also you, Chris, obviously playing at college, the college experience, athletics afforded you this opportunity, right, to make that possible. So maybe anyone that would like to go, and I know, Sophia, this is going to be a new experience for you, but just talk about, how doors open for you for the next level as a result of your experience playing sports in high school. And Brandon, we can start with you if you'd like.
Yeah, I can take. So for me, my mom passed when I was young, when I was 13, and I didn't know if it was true, but where my head went was, hey, I don't know our financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to get a scholarship. I
Mm-hmm.
was always pretty good at sports, but I think at that point is when I really turned on the focus. Like, I need to make this happen. So, my brother could have played in college too. He decided to just go to Michigan, but he was like, hey, if you guys aren't going to work, like, I need you to be locked in. And we just did, training, got our school done, academics. But just, it was a 24/7 thing for us. And we always felt that we needed to do more. If we wanted to get to the next level, we couldn't just show up to practice and do the bare minimum. You had to be willing to do more, than the person down the street. Once that happened, getting a full ride to Ball State, it was great. I never really asked my dad, never really talk about finances. I never do, not even to this point, but
Okay.
I just kind of put it upon myself and just made sure I did everything I could to put myself in that position. And luckily it ended up working out.
That's great. And Chris, obviously, I know it's just been a couple years since you played, but so talk a little bit about how that experience was for you as well.
Yeah, what you said resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about going to college until the whole softball thing started to become a reality.
Sure.
And I ended up on a full ride scholarship between athletics and academics.
Yeah. It opens up doors potentially, and I think the one thing I'll push back on you, Brandon, is that your brother didn't settle to just go to the University of Michigan. Okay, but with all due respect, that is a great university, and Sophia, you're getting ready to head there. So talk about your experience, like going through the recruiting process, coaches talking to you, all of those things, and maybe what you had to do to prepare to put yourself in that position.
Yeah, for sure. I think that sports in high school really taught me that doing just a little bit of hard work is never enough. And even if you are really talented, hard work is always 100% of the time going to beat talent. Mm-hmm. And so it really taught me that you have to stay at an hour before practice and an hour after practice. And it's going to mean, getting up early to lift before school and doing all these extra things just to be the best. And I think that really made me more resilient and more motivated. And it just opened up a lot of opportunities because it taught me how to work hard and what hard work really means.
Yeah. So all three of you have talked in different ways about how, hard work is important. And I know, Brandon, you specifically said, I had to get up early. You talked about getting up early, Sophia, and lifting and all that's involved with that. And I do think that maybe from when you, Chris, and I may have played, the training is so different now and the expectations and things like that. But one of the things that I think is somewhat consistent is it seems as though being a part of a high-level athletics team and program promotes some sense of self-discipline, some sense of, putting in the time, putting in the work. I know, Brandon, you talked about, you just kind of put it on yourself. So how do you think that prepares a student to engage in other things in life?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everything. Like, when I'm prepping for meetings, it all kind of comes back to, the things I did in high school, maybe prepping for a game. I know we got Northfield coming up this week. Always, a thing for me. We used to beat them pretty bad when I was playing. And I played Little League with all those guys, so they knew it was coming. They knew they had no chance. I had to take a little shot here, but
That's great.
yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing. I think it's the preparation. I think when you go into a game, prepped or a meeting or anything else, the outcome is typically a lot better. So for me too, if it's a new client that I'm meeting with, try to do as much research as possible because you're trying to connect, especially if it's an existing client, new client, whatever the situation. You're trying to either keep the relationship or build a new one, and you don't know what the sticking point is going to be. So for me, I try to keep that, and I don't think there's ever enough preparation, right?
Yeah,
you can always
yeah.
think you've gotten to that point, but that's been the main thing. And anytime I talk to anyone that's younger, like Sofia that's in high school or someone that's just getting to college, so the difference between, all right, you've gotten to this point, now you need to try to separate yourself again, it's the preparation. It's the thing you're doing before practice, after practice, even more, because you've got all these people that have done the same thing. They were all the star on their team. And now it's like, how do you do it again? So you got to take everything to the next level.
Sure. Absolutely. And, Chris, obviously you've been a part of coaching travel softball at a pretty high level. So you also understand that there is this club world now, right? Like a travel club world. And Sofia, I'm sure that you have had pretty much year-round field hockey. It's not just the season that you're playing in the fall, right? Yeah. So I've noticed this with my own kids. And I don't know if you've seen this shift, Chris, from your own children and from when you played. But when I played, I was a 3-sport athlete. You just played 3 sports. And now it seems like almost every sport is year-round. And I resonate with what Brandon was saying about putting in the work and the time and so on and so forth. But the other component of this is, man, it seems like we're telling kids you have to be specialists in this one sport, and if you don't do it, and then we're spending tens of thousands of dollars. My daughter played very high level volleyball. Several of my daughters did. And we're traveling all over the place, and it's like you're feeding into this monster. And so is it possible that maybe we've taken it too far with the club sports and everything else that goes along with that?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think kids should play more than one sport. Absolutely. And that's something that we encouraged as parents, was for our kids to play more than one sport.
Sure.
As the leader of a travel softball program, we encourage them to play more than one sport as well. It is difficult because not only are you playing, fall, winter, and summer probably, but you're probably taking lessons as well. So it's very time consuming. So you do need to get into a program that supports that. So as a parent, I would encourage you to look for programs that would support multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, and there's also a ton to piggyback off what you're saying. There's a ton of research that suggests that being a one-sport athlete actually creates more opportunity for you to be injured. You're not using different muscle groups, things like that, right?
That's correct.
So great insight. So, Sofia, I know that you've had tremendous accolades in your career. You scored over 100 goals. You've been, I know you're the captain of the team. You've had just a long list of accolades. What have you loved most about being a part of the team here at Novi and the whole experience that you've been through? Yeah,
so I really love the community and the coaches and everyone here at Novi. I can always count on them to push me to be my best and support me no matter what. I also love just showing up to practice and being in a community that encourages me to work hard and compete every single day.
And field hockey's, it's been around a long time, internationally, but it's a relatively new sport here in Michigan. And so you were actually probably a part of some of the beginnings of the program here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely been fun to watch. I know a lot of times. Is it true do you play lacrosse also?
No, I do track and field.
Okay. So is there a crossover? Because it seems like a lot of lacrosse girls are playing field hockey as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a crossover.
So some of the similar dynamics of movement on the field and things like that. I definitely would tend to say that the three of you have, an expertise in all that goes into the training and the the experience of being a part of this. But as you reflect back on your athletic careers, and I know, Sophia, yours is in a way just kind of getting started, but for, all three of you, I'd like each of you to try and take a shot at this. What advice would you give parents or students to help make the best decisions they can as they navigate, educational athletics, being a part of the community, and you just want to say, I want to leave them with something. What would your advice be for them?
I would tell students to just kind of like live in the present moment, be right where your feet are, because team sports is just such an amazing community, and you get to do it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so just really live in the moment and keep working hard. And for parents, I would just say that just continue to support your children, because, sometimes it gets hard and they just need someone to rely on, and just be there for them and support them through their hard work and everything.
It's great. Yeah. And I love how you're talking about, it's not just about learning to work hard and all that. It's also about finding people that support you, finding people that you can trust, right? That becomes kind of your group, your network of people, right? Mm-hmm. So great. Chris?
Yeah. So for the parents, I would say your kids are going to play the sports, or they do the activities that they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sport they're going to love. So if they're playing baseball, get them some hitting lessons.
Mm-hmm.
If they're good at hitting, they're going to love the sport. Encourage them to practice and get good at what they're doing. And then also as a parent, go and support them. They love to see you in the stands. And when you get in the car afterward, don't talk about everything they did wrong. Talk about what they did well, and just tell them that you love watching them play. I've read on this, and that's what they want to hear, is that I just love to watch you play.
That is one of the hardest pieces of advice to follow as a parent, though, right? And it's so easy to talk about what could have been done better and things like that. But one of the things you said that just resonated with me a lot was, sometimes I think for our kids, it's just about showing up, right? Mm-hmm. And they may not show you their appreciation, but they definitely recognize that you're there, and that that's a part of your support of them as well. So great insights there. And I love the piece about not giving advice, as soon as they get into the car, because that is something I have unfortunately done with my kids over the years as well. But one other thing I just want to, circle back to that you said, kids are going to want to play the sports that they're good at. Mm-hmm. Did you expose your own kids to a myriad of sports at early ages? Do you think it's good advice to let kids try a lot of different things and just have exposure to those types of things, whether they're good at them or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Have them play different sports, figure out what they're good at. Keep in mind that some sports you might be better at when you're young. It might be easier to kick a soccer ball than it is to swing a bat and make contact.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely have them play different sports. Besides the fact that if they learn those different sports, they'll have an appreciation for them when they get older.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Brandon, if you could give a piece of advice as well, as you think back on your athletic career, for anyone watching the show, parents, student athletes, what would you want them to know?
I'd say from a student athlete perspective, just got to put in the work. I mean, a lot of people, they talk about it. I came back and coached, can't remember the years, with the football team for a little bit. And I remember asking, the receivers and I think the DBs, like, how many of you guys want to go to the next level? And some hands went up, and I just told them, I said, none of you want to play at the next level. Like, what do you mean? And I said, well, you guys just show up to practice. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not enough. You got to do something for school. You got to watch film. You got to watch film after practice. And now with like Huddle, I'm like, you guys have this in the palm of your hands. You can go home and watch this at any point in time. We used to have to go up to the high school, to watch film, or stay after practice to watch film. So I think, for anyone, you got to put in the work. That's never going to go away. Mm-hmm. I think for parents, I've got young kids. My kids are 3 and 1. And a lot of people keep saying, oh, you're going to be like this crazy parent. I'm the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. I've seen the parents that try to live through their kids. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
You had your shot, you had your time, encourage them, try to put them in the best position. But I think if you push anything too hard, I think it's not going to be the outcome that you want. So I think you got to give your kids some room to figure out like if they want to be great. Like I told my daughter, she's 3, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like if she wants to wake up at 5 a.m. before school because it's whatever sport she wants to do, like I'm there. But if you want to just have fun and be with your friends, that's also cool too. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of figuring out how far they really want to take it. And if they do, you gotta lock in and put the work in.
I think what you said, Brandon, is definitely resonating with me. Is this idea of parents who are kind of living vicariously through their own children, right? And we all see it on the sidelines. I mean, there's just a recent news article about a youth football game where literally the parents are fighting, throwing blows, and punching each other, and
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you're thinking. A lot of this boils back to maybe this was a person that was a high school athlete, but they never fully met their potential or what they hoped their potential would be. And so now they have a child and they want to put that pressure on them. And,
Yeah.
I see that all the time. And I think it's an astute observation that you bring up. And, just really great advice that you have to say, let your kids lead you where they want to go. I mean, this isn't about us, right? It's about what they want to do. And I think that's a tremendous piece of advice. The three of you have been incredible. I'm so grateful for you taking a little bit of time out of your day for this episode. And I hope that people that are watching this, whether you're a parent, a student athlete, an educator, that number one, educational athletics is a huge part of what we do. And it obviously opens up doors and opportunities. I think it teaches kids multiple skills that they learn. And I understand you can learn these things in other activities as well. I think one of the things is to find something that you love and that you're passionate about and being a part of it, right? So whether it's robotics or it's drama or choir or music or athletics, I think it's about finding something that you're passionate about and that you love to do, and then that can potentially lead to other things. And so it's been an honor speaking with all three of you. I certainly wish all of you the best, and thank you for all that you've done for our school district. And Sofia, we wish you the best at the next level. It's exciting to see how your career is going to progress as well at that next level, and just all that's in store for you, which is really, really cool. So our next episode, which will air in 2 weeks, is going to be about our new mechatronics program at the high school. I think it will be mind-blowing for some of you to see some of the things that our students have access to now with robotics and what is in store for some of them in terms of certification. So stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you so much for listening, and stay curious.